Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Dee. I'm going to take these glasses off because I can see the ring light reflecting in the back. I know I haven't filmed any YouTube videos in a while and I haven't really posted. I've just been super busy between work and stuff going on in my personal life and, you know, the journey that I'm on. I've just had other things like completely taking up my time and my energy, and I've had other stuff to focus on. So today I wanted to just jump on, say hello, because I know it's been a while, and I am going to start filming more videos. I'm going to start getting the content made again because I've really missed YouTube videos, and I've missed, you know, making content and editing and researching stuff, so I want to definitely get back into it. But today I thought I would jump on and do a little, like, because like a few people have messaged me like, why do you not work for Easyjet anymore, like what happened, or they think I'm still with the airline. So I thought I'd just do a wee like video just to kind of clear that up, because I actually seen a girl on TikTok, my friend sent me the link, another girl had been working for Easyjet and no longer works for them because of like the kind of same similar reasons. So I worked for Easyjet I got the job in February and I signed my contract in March, so, and started my training in April, and then I left end October. So April, May, June, July, August, September. So I worked for Easyjet for 7 months. So that's 6 weeks training, so a month training and then 6 months actually like flying and stuff. So the reason that I left, well, I didn't leave Easyjet, I was actually let go, and the reason was Easyjet, especially airlines and the whole like aviation industry as a whole, they're really strict when it comes to their absence policy, because like if you work a normal job like in a supermarket or, you know, a hospital or whatever, if you're off sick or you can't make your shift, yeah, obviously it's an issue, but it's not a huge issue, like, because they can get someone very quickly to cover it, or they can kind of work with like one person down, and obviously it's not costing the company huge amounts of money or costing people individually money. Whereas if you're due to fly, so I used to work 5 days on with 3 off or something. So if you're off sick and you can't make a flight, that then costs the company money. They then struggle to get crew to replace you. There is crew that are on standby, but that is a hassle because it still delays the flight, because the person that's on standby has to then get to the airport. So that delays the flight. The airlines then lose money. So that means, so it's like your flight is then delayed, and then the flight behind that is then delayed, and then the flight behind that is then delayed. And it's just like a knock-on effect. And obviously it costs them money. It costs them money to get someone else to come out and do the shift. Obviously, with especially in aviation and in airlines, there has to be 4 crew on board. You have to fly with 4 crew. You can do 3, but it really, because it's a whole kind of health and safety job, it has to be 4. Whereas with some jobs, if one person's off sick, you can manage it. It works. But with that, it doesn't. And because the aviation industry and stuff like that, and airport jobs and cabin crew, like cabin crew is a really hard industry to get into. The application process is grueling. You know, I had a phone interview, and then after that I had a Zoom interview, and then after the Zoom interview I had a face-to-face interview, and then I had to do like a big online questionnaire interview thing. Like, there's like so many steps you have to do before you actually get offered the job. You know, it's not like you apply, like it's quite like you apply, you do a questionnaire, you have an online interview, then you have another interview, and then another interview, and then you get the job, you sign your contract, you have to go on like 6 weeks training, you have to pass all that. Like it's very hard to get into. So obviously they don't like losing money, and if someone's off sick, they lose money, it delays the flights, and it's like a knock-on effect. So when I started my first month there, I took toothache. I got my back tooth out. I had chipped and cracked my tooth. It was causing me really like excruciating pain, to the point I was like popping painkillers like they were sweets. Which obviously isn't good either. And then it got to the point I was having to take really strong painkillers because the pain was so bad that paracetamol and ibuprofen just were not cutting it. And I tried to get appointments with the dentist, but because of COVID and the huge backlog, they couldn't see me straight away. I had to wait weeks in between appointments. It got to the point where my ear was getting sore, my face like ballooned up to like that size, it went all infected, I had an abscess, it was like a whole thing. But obviously having toothache, it's bad as it is, but flying and the pressure and the air and all that on the tooth, it's excruciating, it is so painful, and it's 10 times worse when you're in the air. So my luck, I really bad toothache, got an appointment, went in, the dentist told me that it would have to be over a couple of appointments because I had to do like treatment and all that to it. So I had to take days off for the dentist. I couldn't fly because I had toothache, and obviously that's my probation period, so that's already like a mark against me. I then got COVID for the third time. So I had to take time off because of COVID, and then I had a week off due to COVID, and then 3 absences due to toothache. Once was I had to go and get an appointment, and I had to get numbed up and all that, and so I obviously couldn't go into work. Then I was off for 2 days with toothache because it was so bad, and I was late once, but the reason that I was late was my taxi didn't show up in time, and I'd booked it the night before, organised it, but it didn't show up and I was late for my flight. So that was my absences and a lateness. So obviously when at the end of my probation period I went in, and they just let me go. And it's really, there's no like anything about it, that's just the way it is. Like, they need to protect the company. And as much as I explained to them, look, like, I had toothache and then COVID, like, to them it's like, whatever, like, not our problem. And as hard as it is, it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Do I go in, work in a plane in an enclosed space and give it to COVID? I did go in when I first got the toothache, and I was flying, and it was just excruciatingly painful. I couldn't focus, like, so kind of, they let me go. I was angry at first, and I kind of understood they've got, you know, they need to look after the company, but at the same time I was a bit like, I couldn't really help my circumstances. But you know, that is what it is, and I'm not the only one. There's other people that I've seen online and that I've trained with, that have left or got let go at the end of their probation periods. And you know, these things happen, they take on a certain amount of staff, and then, you know, they let people go for, and because airlines are so strict, the smallest reason you can lose your job. And I'm not the only one. I know a few other people that also got let go at the end of their probation period. And as I said, I seen a girl on TikTok at the end of her probation period because she'd been off sick with infections. They let her go. You know, it is what it is. And I think now that I've done it and I've worked in the airlines for a few months and done my training, and I've kind of peeked behind the curtain, it's a good job, but it's just still a job. It's not as glamorous as what you think. It's not as great as what you think it's going to be. You're not really stepping off the plane. You're just kind of flying somewhere and then flying back. You know, you're not really getting off and seeing this, like, getting to really see places or anything like that. you're working like 5 days on, you're starting at all hours, and you know, it's a very unsociable job. So I'm proud I done it for 6 months. I peeked behind the curtain, I done it. Yeah, it was good, but it wasn't this big glamorous thing you think it's going to be. So when I first lost the job, I was really gutted, but then as time went on, I thought, you know, it's not the end of the world. Like, I can apply for other airlines, you know, it's not, and I have found something else obviously that I really do enjoy, but obviously at the time I was sad and I was gutted, but looking back I'm like, everything happens for a reason, and I done it for a few months, had the experience, I know that I'm capable of doing it, but I'm just kind of like, you know, it's not, you're not, because it, like EasyJet short haul, it's not long haul, you're not getting off the plane and living it up, you're just flying somewhere, cleaning up, doing a turnaround, flying back, maybe you're doing like two flights a day, so you could do like Glasgow to Faro back to Glasgow, and then Glasgow to Ireland back to Glasgow, or you could do whatever, you know. So, and it's a tough job, it's hard work, you're in a confined space, there's really no place to really take a break or anything like that. You're kind of in the galleys eating in front of people, and you know, people are trying to get in the toilet, so you're like squished in the corner. It's a good job, but it is very unsociable, and it's not this big glamorous thing that people think it is, or that people make it out to be. Yeah, it's totally different because you're working in the sky, but you know, you're not. It's not as if you're flying somewhere and you're living it up. You're flying there, quickly tidying up the plane, doing your checks, and then flying back again. And you're doing that like 5 days in a row, and it is very tiring. So I done it, enjoyed it, but looking back I'm like, would I have really stuck at that? Because it was very unsociable hours. I was having to travel to the airport all the time, which was costing me money on taxis and buses because I don't drive. So when I now look back and weigh it up, I'm like, yeah, it happened for a reason. But obviously there's, for anybody wanting to do it and you think it's sushi, like, go for it. It was a great experience, it was a great opportunity. I met so many amazing people at my training, I made lifelong friends, I met people that I still speak to this day, that I made connections with. You know, you go and you train with these people, and you train with these people for 6 weeks straight, 6 days a week, for like a month solid. You're all staying in a hotel together, you're all leaning on each other for support, helping each other. You know, you kind of form a special bond with each other because you all know how hard the training was and what you all went through, and you know, you're stuck in that environment with each other for 6 weeks and then stuck in a hotel together, you know. So you form lifelong friendships, and I've made friendships with people that I still speak to now, like, and I'm so grateful for that. But you know, things happen, life goes on, I'm still breathing, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, just thought I would jump on and clear that up because people keep asking, and I'm just like people message me like, oh, how are you getting on at EasyJet? And I'm like, I've not worked there for like 6, 7 months, 8 months. No wait, I left in the end of October, start November. 7 months I've not been there, so I'm like, yeah. So I just thought I'd make this video. Obviously, because I don't want people thinking like I left for some like seedy reason. I just generally left because it was my probation and I had been off sick too many times. Really, that was it. That was the tea. But yeah, anyone wanting to go for it, I would say definitely go for it. You make lifelong friendships, and obviously you get discounted holidays, and you know, it is good because you're like in the air flying and you're working, you're not in an office environment, but it's still work. You know what I mean? It's still work, it's still a job, it's still unsociable, long hours, you know, it's, you know. But yeah, and as I said, I want to start making more content, you know, murder mystery stuff, makeup stuff, fashion stuff, all that good stuff. stuff. Yeah, so I hope everyone had a nice Easter. I hope everyone is enjoying the sun because it's nice and sunny and it's lovely outside. I hope everyone's enjoying it. But yeah, stay posted for my new content, my latest content, which I will be posting. I'm going to start making videos this week and get them uploaded. But yeah, so it's good to be back. Stay gorgeous.